When we're in our gardens in the spring, it seems we see a lot of slugs and even snails. You know, the snails, it seems that we're seeing them more and more. They may look pretty, but they're doing the same damage that slugs do.
And if you have trouble identifying what that damage is, we have a couple examples. This is a hosta leaf, and it's that space right there in the middle that has clearly been chewed on by something. And even iris leaves can be attacked by them, either on the side or in the middle. Now, the reason they have holes in the middle is because, unlike humans and a lot of animals, we have a mandible jaw, which just simply means we can open and shut it, thus giving us the ability to talk. Slugs don't have that. They set on a leaf, and they have a rasping jaw. So they do this, and eventually, just as you can see that damaging happening there, that's what happens, and they put a hole in it. Now, we're showing you this damage on hosta and iris leaves, but if you see it on other plants, it's probably slugs and snails as well.
We are going to tell you about a wide range of products that will help you in your garden to get rid of these pests. The first one is by Bonide, and this is a product that contains metaldehyde or meta. So when you use this, you do have to be careful around pets and children. The way you apply this is just like you're using a shaker of salt around your garden. It's just a light sprinkling in and around the plants. Another product that we have is by Deadline, and there's a liquid and a granular. And so when you do use the liquid, you want to apply it by little drops. You don't want to over apply it because it will not let it be as effective. Also, when you're using the granular, again, you want to scatter it around the garden.
Now, if you're looking for something that's organic and more safe around pets and children, you might remember the name Sluggo. It's been around for several years now, and it is basically just iron phosphate. A lot of different names now have iron phosphate only, like Corey's, that's all iron phosphate. Espoma, it's a great product, but it's also iron phosphate. Bonide also has that kind of natural process as well, but they have done the job of adding spinosad, which will take care of like cinch bugs and cutworms and those pesky earwigs.
Well, I have a real organic method to use, which is using beer in a little container and put that just a little bit away from the plants. The slugs and snails will be drawn to it, they'll fall into the container, but they'll die happy.
Yeah, for a lot of us Pacific Northwesterners, that's just not an option.
Well, I have another method. You can use this copper tape. Now, this is just a little bit more expensive, but this is actually a barrier that you could put around a prize plant or a container. And the slugs and snails cannot go over it because they get an electrical shock and are shocked by it, and they'll drop off. And then the last and final method that we have today is using a piece of wood in the garden. And so check it the next day, the next morning, and if you flip it over, you'll find lots of slugs and snails kind of hanging out underneath it. You can use your pruners to either cut them in half or drop them into a soapy bucket of water, and that'll take care of them.
So for just a little bit of time and effort spent in your garden, you can take care of slugs and snails and keep your garden looking lovely all season long.